Hello everyone, I hope you're all well and welcome to episode 102 of the Layton Fitness Podcast. First, I just wanted to say Happy New Year. Hopefully you all had a fantastic Christmas. Hopefully you've already started planning your fitness goals for 2017, your fat loss and muscle building goals, but more importantly, hopefully you have already started taking action on those goals or you're about to very soon. Now in this specific episode we'll be discussing, do you need to be performing cardio within a muscle building phase? Now, this is a very big misconception, so I'm going to discuss this in detail, and then hopefully at the end of the podcast you'll have a greater understanding of whether you need to be implementing cardio within a muscle building phase. So firstly, it's critical that we actually look at our overall objectives within the muscle building phase, and we have two main objectives. The first of which is creating the energy surplus. We must be consuming more calories than we're burning to build muscle. There's a great quote from Lyle McDonald that says you cannot build muscle out of wishful thinking and thin air, and that's so true. But more specific than that, we need to actually make sure that that energy surplus is specific to our training age. So for example, if you are an absolute beginner, someone with less than 6 months weight training experience, you're obviously in a position where you don't have a huge amount of muscle on you, and therefore you can build muscle at a much faster rate for a short period of time, as opposed to an advanced trainee, someone with more than 2 years weight training experience. At this stage you've already built the majority amount of muscle mass you'll build throughout your career, and as such at this point muscle gains are much slower. So therefore making sure that the surplus is actually tailored to your ability level will allow you to maximize muscle gain and minimize fat gain. So in short, if you're an advanced trainer, you don't want to be having an energy surplus that's tailored for an absolute beginner, because you're just not going to see the rate of muscle gains that an absolute beginner would. So I'm going to give you some broad recommendations here. So if you have less than 6 months weight training experience, focusing on a 1 to 3 pound per month gain is a great place to start. If you're an intermediate, someone with 6 months to 2 years weight training experience, focusing on a 1 to 2 pound net gain per month is a great place to start. And if you're an advanced trainee, someone with more than 2 years weight training experience, instead of focusing on a monthly weight gain target, you really want to be focused on gym performance, getting stronger, increasing volume over time, eating enough to recover from those sessions to make those strength and volume gains, but you're not actively looking to have a monthly weight gain target. Otherwise you're just going to gain a lot of body fat. So at that stage you're already thinking more about gym performance. Am I getting stronger? Am I increasing volume over time? Am I eating enough to recover from those sessions to make those volume and strength gains? But you're not actively looking at a monthly weight gain target. Now keep in mind that the weight will still fluctuate to a degree, but try to focus on those things as opposed to the monthly weight gain target. Otherwise you'll gain a lot of body fat. Now the second main goal is a training goal, and that is increasing volume over time. We know that now that volume is the main determining factor for increasing muscle mass, with the caveat the load is heavy enough. And volume is sets times reps times load. So you're basically increasing the amount of work over time. So a lot of people get confused about this, but in short, if you get stronger within the rep ranges you're already doing, so for example, let's say you're squatting 100 kilograms for 5 sets of 5, and then a month later you're hitting 105 kilograms for 5 sets of 5, volume's gone up by default just because the load's gone up and the reps and the sets have stayed the same. So keep that in mind. Often it's just a case of getting stronger within the rep ranges you're currently doing, and volume will be going up. So that's our secondary objective to think about. Now with regards to cardio, going back to the energy surplus, if you're doing lots of cardio, it can make it that much more difficult to create that energy surplus, just because you're now burning more calories, and therefore those calories that could be used for building new muscle are now potentially being used to perform those cardio sessions. That's the first thing to consider. Now with regards to training performance, one thing we need to be cautious of is the interference effect. So if you're doing lots of cardio, lots of endurance type cardio, you'll see endurance adaptations, which is counterproductive to our strength and muscle building adaptations. We're obviously getting those strength adaptations from the weight training, but if you're adding lots of cardio as well, you're going to get that interference of endurance adaptations and strength adaptations. Again, that can hamper your progress in the gym, and that's another reason why I'm not a huge fan of cardio within a muscle building phase. The next thing to discuss, you're probably wondering, James, what about the health benefits of cardio? Don't I need to be doing cardio just to stay healthy? Not necessarily, because if you look at weight training, it mirrors high intensity interval training very closely, doing short bursts of intense activity, then resting, then repeating. So therefore you're getting all of those health benefits by default, unless you're resting for 7-8 minutes in between sets, which you won't be. If you're having relatively short rest intervals, you're going to be getting a lot of those, you're going to be getting all those health benefits anyway. And those of you that train the big key lifts, squats, deadlifts, bench press, you know how much your heart rate increases, how hard work it can be, especially with reasonable rest intervals. So you're basically getting all those health benefits just by doing weight training anyway. Again, another reason why I'm not a huge fan of cardio. Another question you're probably asking, how can I control fat gain within a muscle building phase? Do I need to be doing cardio to minimize fat gain? Not necessarily. Again, going back to the energy surplus being tailored to our training age, and that basically means controlling your food intake, making sure that energy surplus is tailored to you. I.e., if you're a beginner, a greater energy surplus to focus on that 1 to 3 pound per month gain. An advanced training, someone with 2 years or above, you're not focusing on a monthly weight gain target, you're eating enough to recover from those sessions to make those strength and volume gains, and then intermediate 1 to 2 pound per month gains. You're really controlling that food intake, manipulating it to achieve those monthly weight gain targets. So no, you don't need to do cardio to control fat, because you're doing that with the nutrition. Now the final thing to consider is your personal preference. There's just some people that like doing some cardio, and if that's you, but you still have muscle building as your main goal, you just want to not do this in excess. You don't want to be doing 5 days a week cardio in addition to your weight training. You want to be trying to minimize this as much as possible, maybe 1 to 2 sessions, and keeping the duration of the sessions relatively short. So that'll be my suggestion. If you have a personal preference and you love cardio, don't overdo it, moderate it, and still have weight training as the main foundation of your routine. So hopefully that's been useful. In short, cardio really isn't necessary within a muscle building phase because of all of those reasons. So hopefully, if you're going into a muscle building phase in 2017, hopefully this podcast will really help you in determining whether cardio is necessary or not. Thank you very much for listening. If you're still yet to subscribe to the podcast, please do, and then you won't miss an episode. These episodes will be coming out every single week. In addition to that, if you're still yet to download my free ebook, How to Set Up a Nutrition Plan, if you go to James Layton, Layton, fitness.co.uk, you'll see a tab at the top of the page and you can download that immediately. Thank you very much. Forward to speaking to you next week. Take care.